And with great joy, I welcome you all to this auspicious event, this auspicious gathering of Dhamma Gladiators. Gladians. Anyway, I think today we are coming here together as a family, dedicated to the spreading of the timeless wisdom of the Buddha, and also united by our shared commitment to the path of compassion, wisdom, and liberation. And just recently, I recall an anecdote, a story from a dear Dhamma friend, another monk, another Austrian monk, not myself, who was very inspired by one of the quite well-known teachers in our Theravada tradition. I will not mention the name, but so at that time he didn't ordain at this monastery, but he always heard good reports and inspiring talks from that teacher. So one time he decided, I really want to go there. I want to travel to this country and learn directly from that master. So he traveled overseas and went to see the teacher and stayed in the monastery. And after a couple of days, of course, he also got the chance to have personal meditation interview, Dhamma discussion directly with the teacher, just one-on-one. How nice. Rather than having to listen to the Dhamma talks always through MP3 players back in the days. But interestingly, in the conversation, he asked him a question about practice. But the teacher, the answer was very generic. It seems he didn't even listen to the question. And he just rattled off these stock phrases. Oh, he told him, sit down, I'll tell you a story. So he told him a story which he has heard already long ago in his previous Dhamma talks. So then the conversation continued, and also subsequent meetings. But then always more or less the same thing. One time the monk also had a personal grievance, a personal problem. So again he asked the teacher for counsel and advice. But again, it seems the teacher was not able to connect with him. You know what happened eventually? He left. He left disappointed. And he was quite surprised, quite puzzled. Because such an inspiring teacher, when you listen to the public talks, speeches, very entertaining, very nice. But then personal conversations, one-on-one, dealing with the community, actually not so inspiring, and not able to connect with each other on a personal level. And then later he found out also, the monk, my friend, he said also many others had the same experience. And then this community also, people coming because it's kind of interesting, inspiring teacher to listen for public speeches, but then in personal contact, often people don't get the same quality out of it. So I realized, actually as a leader, as a Dhamma teacher, as a guide in the community, it is not enough just to be knowledgeable about the Dhamma. It's not enough just to inspire people. In our Buddhist societies, in our communities, we also need to connect with people. We need to have time. We have to listen. We have to take into account each and everyone's problems, all the way down to the senator, so that there's a community and a shared purpose, just like we have heard just earlier. So I realized that many qualities are actually needed for a spiritual guide, and it's not just enough to be knowledgeable or funny on stage or something like that. So an effective leader has to encompass a variety of tools and qualities. So let us first check what are potential leadership qualities. What are the qualities that are desirable in a spiritual guide, in a spiritual leader? And I think we can all agree that virtue, an ethical foundation, is very important for that. That includes an unwavering commitment, at least to 5 precepts. What are the 5 precepts? To abstain from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, and intoxicants. That's really the basic. It's like a foundation, the foundation of a house. And whatever you want to build on top will only last and be stable if the foundation is strong. So we need the morality as a base. Also, to lead by example. That is also part of Sila, I would say. To lead by personal example. Because if we just speak, but then we act differently, no integrity. And before long, people will figure that out. So again, the Buddha, of course, incorporated all these qualities. And we need to be transparent and honest in our conduct. So let us check from the Buddha himself. When we speak of spiritual leaders, who is a better spiritual leader than the Buddha? So what can we learn possibly from the Buddha as a spiritual leader in terms of Sila? Well, the Buddha's own morality and conduct was perfect. And even before enlightenment, he had a pretty strong commitment, especially to truthfulness, it seems. He wouldn't tell lies just for the sake of fun or for the sake of personal gains or any benefit. Also, he was tempted, we know, after his awakening by Mara, with all kinds of temptations. Yet, he had enough solid basis in his Sila and also no defilements, so he was not tempted by all the attractive things that Mara wanted him to offer. And also what I personally find very interesting, how does a leader act when he's challenged, when things don't go his way? And for the Buddha, he was challenged not just once or twice, but many times, and most seriously probably when one of his disciples even was trying to kill him. Devadatta, I think we all know this story. Did the Buddha become furious, angry? No. He had compassion with him. And he seemed to be quite at balance. Nonetheless, even despite people trying to take up his seat or causing a schism in the Sangha, the Buddha remained in composure. He maintained his virtuous qualities. He didn't fall into harsh speech. He didn't scold him. Didn't use any curse words as far as we know. So no, he maintained his Sila even when challenged. Now that's very important because people will see the leader in many different contexts and situations. So that's the first quality I think that every spiritual leader really needs to incorporate.